this week, NASCAR makes its second stop of the year at Pocono Raceway. Pocono, 2.5 mile triangle, but people call it a tri-oval too, which is weird. But it's a tricky triangle. So we've got a couple things to discuss here. We've got obviously the favorites for the win, some momentum heading into this race, and just general stuff. But a couple big questions coming into the weekend. Can Kyle Busch win his third consecutive Pocono race? Can Stewart-Haas keep up the hot streak after their win last week at New Hampshire? And Daniel Suarez, this is one of his best tracks statistically. Can he get himself a big fat W? So we will answer those questions today. Well, not officially, but, kind of predict and give my thoughts on it. And then Sunday we'll see. We'll see what happens. But obviously Pocono has been given a bad rap for pretty bad racing. No one's really liked it in the past, but I think it's an interesting track. I personally have always enjoyed it. I thought it's a cool track and stuff. They have had some cool things go down there. 2015, they had a really good race. Weather has played a factor into multiple races. I don't think it will this weekend. I think there's a small chance of rain, but I don't think it's during race time. I could be wrong. That was the last time I checked it. Well, I don't know, this morning or yesterday. But the weather could be a factor. If it is, that's a big deal. Obviously, it'll be very similar to, what was that race? Daytona. So rain, we don't want rain, though. We don't want rain. I don't think it will, but there's a chance. Track position, obviously, it's hard to pass at this track, but I think they are applying some of that PJ1 on the top grooves of all three turns. And obviously, it could be a fuel mileage race. We've seen fuel mileage races in the past at Pocono. So if that ends up being a factor at this race, we will see who can conserve the best or who can strategize the best. Strategy for stages and stuff, we'll see that most likely. Playoff points, regular season points versus race wins. Some of those guys on the bubble, I think it'll be like last week. Are they willing to sacrifice track position for regular season points, some points to get in the bag, just to lock up those points because you are on the bubble. Guys like Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer, Eric Jones, just some of those guys. Will they give up track position for Stage 3 to win Stage 2 and get 10 points? That's a big question. So, with that being said, who are the favorites? Obviously, Kyle Busch. He's won the last 2 at Pocono. He's won 3 of the last 4, the other one being Martin Truex Jr. So they are very good at this track. Truex has 2 wins at this track. Kyle Busch has 3 now. I think 3. Or is it just... Yeah, he has 3. He's won the last... Or he's... okay, I can't count. He won 2017, 2018. Okay, yeah. I can't count, my bad. But will he win again at Pocono? I'll answer that in a minute. But he is obviously one of the favorites, as I said. Denny Hamlin, he has won here in the past after a good run last week. I'd say he should be a favorite for this week. After having a really good run last week with the backup car, coming into a track where he has won before, I'd say they're having a little strong momentum, and they got something to prove. Kevin Harvick, he has never won a cup race at Pocono. Can he keep up his momentum from that win last week and get his first career win at Pocono? That's a good question, too. Can Daniel Suarez, this is his third best track statistically behind Dover and Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen, he's raced it twice, his 2 top 5s. Dover, he has like a 9th place average finish. And then here at Pocono, he has a average finish of like 11th with a couple top 5s and top 10s. So preseason, I said Daniel Suarez's best chances at winning were Pocono and this track right here, Watkins Glen. He's run very well there in the past, as I just listed. And those were his best shots at winning. And I had him winning at one of these tracks. So Pocono and Watkins Glen, which one? I don't think it's going to be this week at Pocono. Obviously, a couple weeks ago at Kentucky, he had a really good run winning the pole, leading a lot of laps for his team, and then obviously finishing in the top 10, rallying for the top 10 after some adversity. But I don't think it happens this week. Watkins Glen next week, I think, is more likely for that to happen, in my opinion. I would not be surprised at all if Daniel Suarez won. If Stewart-Haas got a little bit of a hot streak, started winning some more with different drivers, but I do not think it happens this week for Suarez. But what what is my race pick? My race pick. All right. Let's see. You got Kevin Harvick going for his first Pocono win, and Kyle Busch looking for 3 straight Pocono wins. And you got Joey Logano and Kyle Busch in a nice battle for the points lead. I'm going to go with someone that's not one of those drivers. I'm going to go with a guy who hasn't won in a while either. Well, for him at least. I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. You know, Brad Keselowski's another one on that list. I think he's won at Pocono, never mind. But it's been a while for him, too, since he's won the season. But Martin Truex Jr., I think he had an engine problem or something in the first Pocono race. They won a race last year at Pocono. They've usually run well here. I expect them to run well again. If they don't have problems, I expect them to have a fast car, run up front. And I got Martin Truex Jr., so I think Truex wins the race, his 5th this season. Woo, that's a lot. But it could come down to fuel mileage. It could come down to a late race restart, some strategy, stage points. Obviously, some of those guys on the border for points for the playoffs, they're going to be a little more desperate for points rather than a race win because only one person can win the race, not 10 people. And some of those guys maybe who want playoff points to add to their total might go for those playoff points, be aggressive on the strategy. Guys like Truex, guys like Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick now, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, some of these guys who have won. They're going to be a little more aggressive with their calls and to try to get some more playoff points. Regular season points are great and all. Trying to get more playoff points through regular season points, finishing in the top 10 standings, but I think guys are going to be more aggressive for the win. So that's it. Pocono, I hope it's a better race than it was last time. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this. If you did, leave it a bag like, and subscribe also.